What if the person they thought was powerless turned out to be the one who could rewrite the rules? What if every sneer, every shove, every ounce of arrogance was building toward a single night where power flipped in the blink of an eye? I never thought my name would end up in a police report for loitering. I was 16, skateboard under my arm, hoodie up, earbuds in, gliding through the cool hum of the streetlights that wrapped around Maplewood Estates. I wasn't causing trouble. I wasn't tagging walls or breaking into cars. I was just skating. The sound of wheels on asphalt was my therapy. My dad used to say you can tell a neighborhood by how it treats its kids. That night, I found out exactly what kind of neighborhood I lived in. Welcome to Honorbound Tales. Before we dive in, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop your location in the comments. We want to see how far our stories reach across the world. It started around 9:10 p.m. The air smelled like wet grass and chlorine from someone's sprinklers. I'd been at the park, and on my way home, I cut through the HOA's private section, the one with the "No Loitering After 9 p.m." sign nailed crookedly into a post. I'd passed that sign 100 times before. It was just something adults put up to make themselves feel in control. But that night, someone decided it wasn't just a sign. It was a reason. The man came out of nowhere, flashlight in one hand, the other resting on his holster. He wasn't a real cop, just one of those HOA security officers who think the badge they bought at a surplus store gives them divine authority. He yelled something. I couldn't hear him at first over my music. Then the light blinded me. I pulled out my earbuds. "Hey, you can't be here after 9. What are you doing?" "Heading home," I said, trying to keep my tone respectful. He looked me up and down like he was sizing up a suspect. "You live here?" I nodded toward the row of townhouses just beyond the hedge. "Yeah, 2 blocks down." "Funny," he said. "I don't remember seeing you before." That's when I knew where this was going. I've lived that scene too many times. At the mall, outside the gas station, even once in my own driveway. Suspicion first, humanity later. He took a step closer, his flashlight trembling slightly in his hand. "Show me some ID." I sighed. "Sir, I'm 16. I don't carry ID when I skate." "Then you shouldn't be trespassing." "I'm not trespassing. Hands where I can see them." That's when fear replaced frustration. There was no reasoning anymore. My hands went up automatically, palms open, skateboard still dangling from one wrist. He started to circle me. His voice was calm, but too calm, the kind people use before they do something violent. "I've had complaints. A kid matching your description, hanging around after hours, vandalizing." "I didn't vandalize anything." "You resisting?" "No," I said louder, my heart pounding. "I'm just trying to go home." The next few seconds blurred. I remember him reaching for his taser. I remember the sound, a high-pitched electric hiss that slices through your nerves before it hits you. Then the pain. 1,000 needles stabbing every muscle in your body at once. I hit the ground. Couldn't move. Couldn't even cry out. Just the sound of my skateboard rolling into the gutter. He kept yelling, "Stop resisting!" I wasn't resisting. I couldn't even breathe. When the current stopped, I curled on the pavement, muscles twitching, chest burning. He knelt beside me, pressing my arm down, cuffing me like I'd just robbed a bank. "You're under detention for loitering and failure to comply." Loitering. That word echoed in my head like a joke from hell. He called it in over his radio. I could barely hear the dispatch reply, but he sounded proud, like this was a victory, like tasering a kid made him some kind of hero. I lay there, eyes toward the sky, seeing the stars flicker behind streetlight glare. My mind wandered to my mom. She was at some late-night city meeting, always busy, always talking about budgets, ordinances, and committees. She worked as an attorney, but I didn't know all the details. I just knew she was fierce in every room she entered, and she never tolerated bullies. When she arrived, I thought I was hallucinating. Her car lights cut through the dark, engine still running as she stepped out. No blazer, no heels, just jeans, sneakers, and her old Howard University hoodie, the same one she wore when she was in law school. "Marcus?" Her voice cut through everything, calm but sharp. The HOA cop turned, startled. "Ma'am, step back. This is an active detainment." She ignored him, walked straight to me, kneeling, her hand brushing my cheek like she was checking if I was real. "Did he touch you?" I tried to speak, but my jaw still ached from the shock. "He tased me," I managed to whisper. Her eyes turned to steel. She stood up slowly, brushing off her knees, and faced the man. "What's your name?" "Officer Daniels, HOA Security." "Badge number?" He hesitated. "I don't have to. You do. Especially since you just assaulted a minor." He scoffed. "Lady, he was trespassing. Curfew violation. This isn't a military base, and your jurisdiction ends at the curb. I was doing my job, protecting the community." Her lips twitched. Not a smile, not quite anger, something colder. Protecting it from what? A 16-year-old on a skateboard? He shifted, suddenly less sure. He matched a description. Which one? Young, black, breathing? That shut him up. She took out her phone and hit record. "Say it again. Say it again. Tell me why you thought a taser was appropriate force for a non-violent, unarmed teenager." He puffed his chest. He refused to show ID. "And that's worth electrocuting a child?" He said nothing, just stared at her, then at me. "I'm calling this in," he muttered. "Good. I'd like your supervisor to join the conversation." When the police arrived, real police, it got messy. They saw me on the ground, my mom standing over me, the HOA guy pacing like a caged dog. My mom gave a calm, precise statement. No shouting, no cursing, just facts. She had that same presence I'd seen her use in arguments at home, unshakable and quiet. The kind of calm that scares people more than anger ever could. The officer in charge nodded, then said something that made my stomach twist. "We'll need to verify your claim with HOA leadership. Daniels has authority under contract." That's when my mom smiled, slowly. "Oh, I'm aware of the contract," she said. "I wrote the new one." Daniels blinked. "What are you talking about?" She turned toward me. "Marcus, get in the car." "Mom, now." I got in. From inside, I could see her pull a file from her car. I couldn't hear everything she said, but I saw the officer's expression change as she spoke. Confusion, then realization, then quiet respect. The HOA guy looked like someone had just pulled the rug out from under him. When she finally got in the car, she didn't speak for a minute, just drove. I could feel the tension radiating off her. Then she said, "Do you know what I was doing tonight?" "No." "I was at a city council session. We were finalizing the annual public safety budget, and guess whose contract was under review?" I turned to look at her. "The HOA security?" She nodded. $4.2 million. For a private enforcement group that can't tell the difference between community protection and racial profiling. Her knuckles tightened on the wheel. Tomorrow morning, that changes. And it did. By noon the next day, the video she took was everywhere. News outlets, social feeds. The video of a security officer tasering a black teenager for skateboarding went viral in less than an hour. The HOA board tried to spin it. They claimed it was a misunderstanding, a procedural misstep. But then the city's live stream started, and that's where everything flipped. I watched from home as my mom walked up to the microphone in the council chamber. Cameras everywhere, her voice steady as stone. "My name is Alicia Morgan, city attorney, and last night my 16-year-old son was tasered by an off-duty member of the Maplewood Estates Enforcement Unit. He was unarmed, he was not resisting,
He was walking home. The room went silent. I'm here to formally recommend the immediate termination of the city's enforcement contract with the Maplewood HOA Patrol and the reallocation of those funds to the Youth Recreation Initiative. Someone from the board stammered something about review procedures, but she cut him off. No further review is necessary. I have the incident on video. You want accountability? Here it is. You want safer streets? Invest in the kids you keep calling threats. The council voted right there, 5-0. Contract terminated. The HOA cop, Daniels, lost his job, his pension under investigation. The rest of the security unit was disbanded within a week. The following month, a new sign went up where that old "No Loitering."
It said, Youth Recreation Zone, open until 10 p.m. Respect lives, respect community. And every time I skate past it, I feel something shift inside me. Not pride, not revenge, something deeper, like balance restored. I still think about that night sometimes. The flash of the taser, the look on his face when my mom showed up, not in uniform, not with backup, but with truth. It taught me something about power. It's not always the loudest one in the room. Sometimes it's the one that waits until the exact right moment to speak. Now, whenever I hear someone call me the kid from that video, I smile a little. Because that night didn't define me. It revealed them. And if you've ever been underestimated, written off, or cornered by someone who thought they could control your story, remember, sometimes justice doesn't roar. Sometimes it whispers through a calm voice, holding a camera, rewriting the rules. This was my story. And somewhere out there, another kid is skating home tonight, not knowing how close the edge can be, or how strong a mother's silence can sound when she finally decides to break it. Before you go, hit like, subscribe, and drop your city in the comments so we can see how far these stories travel. And tell me, what's the most ridiculous standoff you've ever had? And how far would you go to defend your turf?